This is Greg Rader out in Sherman, New York, Slab City Organics, and today we're going to talk about burning firewood and my concerns about the laws that are coming out and about not burning firewood. We've been working on this woods for at least 5 years on and off, thinning it out, taking all the junk out, making the trees high enough. They're starting to compete against each other, and it was overcrowded. So we came through, and this is our finished product. We're not taking any more trees out. And my intentions are someday this being a grove. Down here as well, we did all this forest, took a lot of stuff out of here. Also took the stumps out of here. I put a lot of bark. You can see there's a pile over there that I didn't get spread out. And what I did over here is I put bark down to try to keep the brush down, the weeds down, and keep it clean. So if the law was to come into effect that I couldn't burn firewood, the incentive of me doing this, there would not be an incentive here. Because what am I going to do? Just cut them down and not utilize, not pay for my labor and stuff? So I want to explain that process. So this is kind of the end process here as well. And I think we got some videos what it looked like prior to. So let me take you through this, and that way you can have a difference of opinion about the laws that are coming into effect in New York State. So yesterday I was down here taking wood out. The sun was out yesterday. It wasn't too bad. You can see all this is freshly cut wood, and we had a big pile of trees here. And you can see a lot of these trees that are here, they just weren't a good quality tree, or it was too crowded. So if I couldn't use this for firewood, there's nothing. It's not like I can take them to a lumber yard, get any money out of it. They're just here. So the firewood is the only option that I have to utilize all these trees, which it takes a lot of firewood to heat my garage. So from here, I cut all this up, and then I take it up a bin up on top of the hill, and I'll show you where I store it. So yesterday we dumped the load up here, and what I picked up was the smaller stuff. The bigger stuff down there we got to split before we bring it up here. So I have to have this bin full, and that's about a year, 2 years supply. I usually like to keep my firewood cut a year ahead of time so it dries down. So from there it comes up here, and then from here it goes down in the garage. And we'll head down there and I'll show you what's going on there. So when it comes from the hill, it comes down here, and if I fill this all the way up, this usually gets me through the winter, but it just depends on what type of winter we have and how much work we got to do out in this garage. So then this is where we put it. It goes from here, of course, in this stove. So once this becomes illegal, if the state ever passes a law where I cannot burn firewood, that is a huge disadvantage.
Under the guise of protecting and promoting the health of New York citizens and saving the planet at the same time, the 22-member Climate Action Council, charged with figuring out how to implement the horrible Climate Act without actually killing the entire economy in the state, has taken up the issue of heating with wood stoves.
And I hope that never happens, but the way things are going, I think it will. So when I first started my business, my garage was in front of my house, and we worked outside. And we did a lot of work outside in this kind of weather. So I know what it's like to change starters and to be outside and work in this environment. And then years down the road, I finally built this garage. This is the old garage. And as you can see, I went around and I got used steel. I tore a silo down. I got wood. I actually made all my own concrete. And from there, we at least got inside where we could stay warm. And you can see what I'm talking about. It's not a real nice environment to be in. So let's go inside. So what I'm really concerned about, if this ever becomes a law where we can't burn firewood, some of the things that I do is I like to heat my garage overnight so I can come out in the morning and the equipment's warm, the tools are warm. And I wonder, if I'm not burning firewood, what's my alternative? We also bring stuff in here so it doesn't freeze up. We move a lot of sawdust, and sometimes we just need to get that out of the weather. So I heat this constantly. Today I don't have my stove going because I'm making a video, but I sure, and if we can't burn firewood, all this incentive that I did out in the woods would never happen because there would be no reason for me to do it. So it would be a great disincentive if you can't burn firewood, which would cause tree management not to happen, and it's just a chain reaction. So I hope that people understand how firewood is really a real valuable thing to me and to a lot of other people, to heat and to get out of this environment that we're in New York State.
There's a pending law in New York that will begin to change how buildings and homes in New York are heated in an effort to reduce carbon emissions. This bill, known as the New York State Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act, was signed in 2019 and will start to have a big impact in 2022. Not only will this bill outlaw the use of oil and natural gas for heating during our cold winters, it will also outlaw the use of wood stoves. Burning wood releases about 75% more CO2 than natural gas. Wood smoke upstate comes from heating methods such as wood stoves, pellet stoves, and fireplaces, as well as campfires and industrial production. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe.